So the why the drone is the next laptop computer. The computer itself is nothing more than a tool to transfer and receive information. The laptop became revolutionary because it then allowed the tool to become mobile. So with the advent of the laptop, now you were able to, along with things like Wi-Fi and GPS, you now were able to transfer and receive information anywhere. Now, this limited the tool to a certain extent. The fact that it was grounded, and that way you could only transfer and receive information or utilize this tool on a two-dimensional plane. You could only utilize the X or the Y axis while you were doing so. You could technically utilize these devices on an airplane, things of that nature, but it still required the user to not only get up in that plane, but it still had limitations because the user had limitations. Human limitations, biological and psychological limitations. But a drone does not suffer from the biological and the psychological limitations. And a drone is nothing more than a tool. Not for entertainment. And not for war. Neither of those uses necessarily maximize the utility of the tool. It's like you may use an ill-fitting screwdriver and it gets the job done, but that's not the scenario that the tool typically shines. And so the drone, its capabilities, its purest nature, shines through being able to do what a computer and what a laptop can do concerning the transfer and the receipt or delivery of information, it shines much brighter because it adds the z-axis to a two-dimensional plane, making it a tool that can collect and gather data in 3 dimensions. What this means is, that you gain the ability to collect data that is far more rich and extensive than we could ever comprehend before. It will become a tool that has many uses, those that we have not yet thought of. It is my particular intention to utilize them for good and purposes that benefit society. It is no doubt that computers have in many ways benefited society and helped it to progress. It is said that we are at the stage of a 4th industrial revolution. Drone technology will take us into the 5th industrial revolution. And as a result, it shall allow artificial intelligence to progress from stages 3 to stage 5 as a direct result of the 3rd dimension being added through the collection of data. But maybe you may ask, well, human beings are 2-dimensional. They cannot move on the z-axis. They cannot fly. Well, technically, yes, we can't fly. Not solely through the use of machines, but we are unique because we have the ability to separate ourselves or transpose ourselves through our minds. I may not be able to see myself from 60,000 feet, but I can imagine. And I can put myself there mentally. And through that mental picture, there is a connection. And that connection becomes real because it's connected to me and I am real. And so then the thought becomes real. This is what makes the technology unique. It's because it is an extension of ourselves and our consciousness. And as a result, we become more conscious and more aware because of the gained insight and the gained information. And it is up to us how we utilize that new perspective, that new data, that new information, and whether we utilize it to push the human race forward, or whether we utilize that or misuse that information for narrow, nefarious purposes. I believe in those things that make life beautiful. So I believe that we will choose the latter.